You don't even know. You don't know what I did.
What did you do?
Oh no, I can't bear to tell you.
You have to.
It's so bad. Bad.
No.
Oh.
You just have
Oh
to
no,
tell
I
us.
can't. I have to hide.
You have
Okay. Okay. I'm going to be brave and tell you what I've done, but please don't hate me, please.
We won't.
Okay. I, Lovey, the book cart trolley librarian. Oh, I can't do
Yes,
it.
you.
I lost. Oh, I lost the book cart. I knew you'd hate me. I knew you'd hate me.
We love you.
Oh.
We love you. Well, we lost our teachers and our school.
Wait 1 second. Are you telling me you lost your teachers and your school?
Yeah.
We can, wait. I am trained how to deal with situations like this. You can choose how to react to something,
Yeah.
right? You can pick a risky.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick to accept this, that you lost a entire school and teacher, knowing that I thought losing the book cart was the teachers, a whole school and all the teachers. I thought losing the book cart was bad. I came clean. Boy, did we have no idea what the two of you were hiding. So we can choose how to react to this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on
An adventure.
We can make this a brilliant, wonderful, amazing adventure, can we not?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the best idea. What should we do?
We should do an online book cart.
Yeah,
we should.
Online book cart.
Yes.
Well, you're brilliant. This is brilliant.
And we could use
But wait, I lost my book cart.
And we could use
a
wagon
to
instead of the book cart.
We could use a wagon and we could do it. We could do it online.
Yeah.
Well, if our friends were interested in that, we could do something brilliant and give them like a tour.
Yeah.
And we can make it like a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like surprises?
Everyone does.
Because you know we did do the Harry Potter tour.
Yeah, and everybody.
And that's online on our Facebook page right now. They could take a tour of that.
Yeah.
And then we could add a new surprise with the book cart.
Yeah.
And they could read a book in between time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think about this. Everybody, your best yoga thinking. Okay, let's digest on it a little bit. We'll see what our friends think about us doing an online virtual reality book cart tour. Does that sound great?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. But for today, I don't have a book cart all ready to do a virtual tour. So what should we do now?
We should do an art project.
Well, we have been doing art projects. That's a grand idea. Let's do a challenge, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. You know how all the people like to see the cherry blossoms in DC, but we can't go there right now.
Yeah.
Well, what if everybody made their own cherry blossom at home and sent us a picture and we could post them all and it would be like seeing all the cherry blossoms in DC. And that would bring people a lot of happiness, wouldn't it? So here's what we did. We took a paper towel roll and we painted it and we put toilet paper rolls on top. And then we cutty them and glued them and used little chip clips from your pantry to keep them. And then we took tissue paper and we glued little teeny balls the size of a spitball. The size of a spitball, I'd say. How do I know that? Lovey will not tell. So I think you guys can do this at home and send pictures of your cherry trees to us, and we could show everybody our cherry trees made by our friends. That's a brilliant idea, but then it's not over yet. You take an old box or something that you have, and you could plant your cherry tree in the middle of your diorama. So we took an old box. We made the Washington Monument. How wonderful is that? We put in a little park bench to sit. Then we made the reflection pond in DC. And we put a mural in the background and a little bike rack. So, if you guys would like a little art challenge, these were all things we had in our house. Oh, the monument fell down. That's news too. Okay,
Yeah.
so cameraman, set the camera down and let's see if we get some challenges. So, what do you think we should do next?
We should read a book.
Well, the last time we did do the book cart, people were asking for the Harry Potter book, but I didn't have any of those turned in, but I do have book 1, chapter 1 right here, right now. So I'm going to read the first 5 or 6 pages of this to you, and then we will do a reveal
Of the book.
of what we're going to do for
For
our
the
mystery
book
book
cart.
cart. We'll give you a clue. Are you ready? You ready to listen to some reading? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. One of my favorite books. Chapter 1, The Boy Who Lived. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal, thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect to be involved in anything strange or mysterious because they just didn't hold on with such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was the director of a firm called Grunnings, which made drills. He was a big, beefy man with hardly any neck, although he did have a very large mustache. Mrs. Dursley was thin and blonde and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came in very useful as she spent so much of her time craning over garden fences, spying on the neighbors. The Dursleys had a son called Dudley. And in their opinion, there was no finer boy anywhere. The Dursleys had everything they wanted, but they also had a secret. And the greatest fear was that somebody would discover it. They didn't think they could bear it if anyone found out about the Potters. Mrs. Potter was Mrs. Dursley's sister, but they hadn't met her for several years. In fact, Mrs. Dursley pretended she didn't have a sister because her sister and her good-for-nothing husband were as un-Dursley-ish as it was possible to be. The Dursleys shuddered to think what the neighbors would say if the Potters arrived in the street. The Dursleys knew that the Potters had a small son too, but they had never even seen him. The boy was another good reason for keeping the Potters away. They didn't want Dudley mixing with the child like that. When Mr. and Mrs. Dursley woke up on the dull grey Tuesday, our story starts. There was nothing about a cloudy sky outside to suggest that the strange and mysterious things would soon be happening all over the country. Mr. Dursley hummed as he picked out the most boring tie for work, and Miss Dursley gossiped away happily as she wrestled a screaming Dudley into his high chair. None of them noticed a large tawny owl fluttered past the window. At 8:30, Mr. Dursley picked up his briefcase, pecked Mrs. Dursley on the cheek, and tried to kiss Dudley goodbye, but missed. Because Dudley was now having a tantrum and throwing his cereal at the walls. Little Tyke chortled Mr. Dursley as he left the house. He got into his car and backed out of number 4 Privet Drive. It was on the corner of the street that he noticed the first sign of something peculiar. A cat reading a map. For a second, Mr. Dursley didn't realize what he'd seen. Then he jacked his head around to look again. There was a tabby cat standing on the corner of Privet Drive, but there wasn't a map in sight. What could he have been thinking of? It must have been a trick of the light. Mr. Disley blinked and stared at the cat. It stared back. As Mr. Disley drove around the corner and up the road, he watched the cat in his mirror. It was now reading. The sign said Privet Drive. No looking at the sign. Cats can't read maps or signs. Mr. Dursley gave himself a little shake and put the cat out of his mind. Whew. As he drove toward town, he thought of nothing except a large order of drills he was hoping to get that day. But on the edge of town, drills were driven out of his mind by something else. As he sat in the usual morning traffic jam, he couldn't help noticing that there seemed to be a lot of strangely dressed people about. People in cloaks. So let's stop there. If you would like to read more, we can make another post and continue. We are trying to bring you a little bit of the book trolley. So, what's our next thing?
We should give you a little hint about what the book cart's gonna be next time.
A hint about what the book cart should be. If you want it, you have to let us know.
Ooh, Baby Yoda, floating in a pod, Baby Yoda.